Hey, what's up everyone? Forever Lego Studios here, back again with another video, and guys, welcome back to another episode of Forever Answering Your Questions. Now, if you're new to this channel or new to the series, basically is a weekly Q&A series I do here on the channel, and basically where I ask you guys to leave me comments relating to Lego Star Wars, or Moc creations, basically any questions you'd like me to answer in this series, and each week I try my best to answer as many as I possibly can. So, with all that out, let's get into today's first question. First question comes from Rebo Bricks. He asks, "Great video, Hunter." Thank you for that. You do not at all have to answer this question as it is quite personal, but where do you work at? Basically, okay, so I know some people may think this is as a, I guess a personal topic, but honestly, I don't mind it just because of the fact that I've said where I've worked quite a few times on the channel, I believe. I think I mentioned it in a few times in the Hoth series. But basically, I work at my local Walmart, and basically my Walmart is like 6-7 minutes away from me, so it's not that far away. I don't have to worry about being late because it's not that far. And on top of that, I get paid pretty well. Like, it definitely helps me build up funds so I can do these build creations. Like, you guys can definitely see a dramatic change in speed building because of the fact, like, if you go back to September last year when I was still working on Hoth, basically before the September of last year, it was kind of somewhat slow because of the fact that I was kind of just going on funds, like allowances and stuff like that. But once September hit, I got the job. Everything kind of sped up because of the fact that I was getting paid on a normal basis. I was getting my own money, and I was able to purchase stuff a lot more easy, and I guess it was just a lot easier for me to actually purchase parts, which is always a good thing if you're going to be building something at a large scale or just in a decent size in general. Like, if you're going through your parts collection and you need to buy like $10 worth of parts, that's not a problem. But if you're going to be building something like really large, then I'd highly recommend figuring out a money situation, just because of the fact that it makes it a lot easier. Like, I know it doesn't sound right, but it does make it a lot easier, especially when trying to build something to, like, for instance, with Hoth, it made it a lot easier to actually fund that Moc, as well as for Camino, it's going to be a lot easier to actually fund Camino, because I just bought a bunch of parts, and if I didn't have my job, it would kind of be a little bit difficult to pay for it. So, hopefully that answers your question. Again, I don't really take it as personal, but I appreciate you being really kind and asking first. So, next question comes from... Okay, next question today comes from Bly Productions. He asks, "Nice vid, will you ever do a Moc that will be another theme than Star Wars? And when are you planning on getting Camino done?" For the Camino take, I'll get into the kind of non-Star Wars Moc in just a second. I'm planning on getting Camino done roughly, my goal is to get it done around April or even May, around that time frame, because of the fact that I am going to be taking this to Brickworld Chicago, or Aiden and I are both going to be taking our parts to Brickworld Chicago. So he and I are going to try our best to get it done early. Like, my number one goal is, like, hopefully to get it done like before the beginning of 2020. If I can get that done like around January, February, that'd be fantastic. I've had plenty of times, and I can actually plan out for the third Moc to do. But, like, I guess more realistically, probably April or May. But if I'm gonna try my best to get it done, my for all goal would be roughly around January, February. Hopefully, again, it doesn't sound the most realistic, but honestly, it does have a decent amount of time. And this second episode, I got a lot done, which I'm excited to showcase. I've got some special film for that coming up. But yeah, that's my goal for that. Now, to answer your other question, basically asking, have I ever thought about doing a Moc from another theme than Star Wars? Actually, yes, I think I've mentioned this a couple times on the channel. Basically, if I wasn't doing Star Wars, and I've actually been giving this a lot of thought recently, and I'm actually thinking about doing this, like, maybe later down the road. Not really anything planned out yet, but I would love to do a Arkham Gotham. And what I mean by Arkham Gotham is basically, for those of you who don't know, there's this game series called Arkham, which is basically a Batman storyline going from Arkham Asylum to Arkham Origins to Arkham City to Arkham Knight, and then hopefully the new one that's coming out hopefully soon. But basically, for those of you who don't know, I really love that series. Honestly, it's probably my favorite game series out there at all, just because I love the campaign, and overall, I really enjoy all 4 games. And basically, if I were going to do something, I would love to do like a huge Gotham City. Like if I went all out on this, I'd definitely do like a full-on Gotham City, basically based on the Arkham series. So I'd probably use all the villains that were shown in Arkham, like probably Arkham Knight or something like that, using in this characteristics of the Arkham Knight game or Arkham game in general. And on top of that, I would use like the Arkham Knight Batman, Arkham Knight Batmobile, and stuff like that. Basically just the whole Gotham City, but in the Arkham scheme. So I think that'd be really awesome. Again, I've given a lot of thought because I would love to do something like that. For those of you who don't know, again, I really am a good fan of Batman, and doing a Arkham mock would be really cool. So I've given that some thought, and if I were doing Star Wars, that's what I would do. Next question comes from DMK Mox. He asks, who or what inspired you to do mocks get into Lego? Well, I actually got into Lego when I was a lot younger. Basically, my brother Matt, he actually got me into Lego because of the fact that he had a bunch of Legos in general, and then on top of that, he had a bunch of Lego Star Wars sets from 1999 and the early era of Lego Star Wars. So that was really fun. I got to play with a bunch of his sets, and then after a while, I actually started collecting my own. And so technically, he got me into Lego, but like, I wouldn't give it into like actual mock making because of the fact that it was kind of the mocks I used to make when I was younger were like really small and really undetailed, and I just wouldn't consider it as a like, especially on something that I do now. So basically, I guess the number one person who got me into mock making was probably David or Solbrick Studios, which is kind of obvious. I know he's kind of like the number one, but that's kind of the number one. Like his Kashyyyk series kind of got me into the groove of building and got me interested in doing this, and in general just got me into thinking of like, maybe I could do this, maybe I could build my own creations. And after a while, I got in the swing of things, and I built Hoth, which I think was probably my best creation I've ever built. And then Camino, of course, being started. I'm super excited to get that pumped, and already I'm enjoying building it. Other than David, probably Chris Productions. He's an awesome guy. Again, a great builder. I've been watching him for quite a long time, and he and David were probably like the two people I watched the most when I was kind of learning how to build and figuring out what I wanted to do. So those two guys are awesome. And then most recently would be Matt and Jay, just because of the fact that they're awesome guys and they've got some awesome creations. So hopefully that answers your question. Next question comes from Imperial Bricks Productions. He has great video. Have you ever had anything stolen from you at Brick Fair or convention that you have displayed at? So I've only displayed at the one convention so far, and that was Brickworld Chicago this year. And honestly, nope, I didn't get anything stolen from me. It was kind of a back thought in my mind. I guess like somewhere in the back of my mind, I was kind of thinking like, should I make sure that I'm curious if someone's gonna steal something? Am I gonna lose something? Or kind of, it was just like a really weird back into my mind thought. And after I got there, that thought like disappeared, because like everyone was so nice. Everyone I met, I had no problems with anyone at Chicago. Like we had a blast there. I had a very enjoyable time with everyone. No one seemed mean or anything like that, so I had nothing to worry about. I didn't lose anything, so that was the good thing. Going to actual conventions other than the Brickworld Chicago, I haven't lost anything or have been stolen from, so that's going to be a no for me, and hopefully it stays like that. But honestly, no, I think especially at Chicago, it was just a blast, and I just didn't have to worry about it. Okay. Last and final question comes from Frank's Fantastic Bricks. He asks, what is your favorite Lego Star Wars mock on YouTube? So that's kind of difficult because of the fact that there's a ton of Lego Star Wars mocks on YouTube, especially with a bunch of new build series starting up, and which I'm very happy about, because I think that's something awesome to see on YouTube is build series, because of the fact that you get to enjoy this build creation or Lego mock being created step by step. So it's really enjoyable to see build series, and I love to see it continue. But it's kind of hard to say which one's my favorite. It's probably some of the most recent ones, which would probably be Jay's Vardos. I loved that thing. It was just so fantastic. He did a fantastic job on it. So Jay's Vardos. I'm probably gonna say David's Kashyyyk, just because of the fact that I know there's some things that he did that could definitely be updated because of the fact that it's been years since that, but it's still got very dear to me because of the fact that it was like my first watching build series. So probably David's Kashyyyk, Jay's Bardos, and I'll throw in one more. I'll probably say Brett. I'm probably gonna have to say Chris's old Scarif Moc. I thought that was really great. So hopefully that answers your question. Now, again, there are a lot more other Lego Mocs on YouTube that are fantastic, but there's just way too many to count out in a top 3 or something like that. But I think that's going to be it. Hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of Forever Answering Your Questions. Again, if you want your questions answered, let me know in the comment section below. Again, make them related to Lego Star Wars, or Moc questions. I don't mind. And I'll do my best to answer them in next week's episode, which should be a good one. So hopefully all of you enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button, as well as if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe. We have some awesome content coming down the road because of the fact of the continuation of Battle of Kamino, which I'm really excited to showcase this week's episode. So I think that's gonna be it. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.